You wake up. Not in a bed. Not really. It's a dirty mattress on a cold, concrete floor. There's a sharp, metallic smell in the air, like a butcher shop mixed with disinfectant. Your head is foggy. Your body feels heavy, alien. You try to sit up, but a searing pain shoots through your side, just below your ribs. It's a deep, grinding ache that steals your breath. You look down. Your shirt is gone. Taped crudely across your flank is a thick, blood-stained bandage. Your trembling fingers peel back a corner. Underneath, you see a line of clumsy, black stitches holding your skin together in a jagged smile. It takes a moment for your drugged mind to connect the dots. The dull ache you've had for weeks is gone, but in its place is this raw, butchered line. You are lighter now, incomplete. A piece of you is missing. You just don't know which piece yet. This wasn't supposed to be your life. 6 months ago, you were in your home village. You had a family. You had debt, yes, and dreams of a life without it. But you were whole. Then the recruiter came. He was friendly, well-dressed. He showed you pictures on his phone of a bustling city, of smiling workers in clean uniforms. A construction job, he said. Good pay, housing included, a chance to send money home and build a future. All you had to do was pay the facilitator's fee. A loan, he called it, easily paid back from your first few months of wages. He even arranged your flight and visa. The moment you landed, the dream dissolved. Your passport was taken for safekeeping. You and a dozen others were loaded into a windowless van. The friendly recruiter's face was now a cold, hard mask. The promised construction site never appeared. Instead, you were brought to a rundown compound on the city's edge. This is a classic trap, often preying on those trapped in systems of bonded labor, like the Kakala system in parts of the Middle East. Your visa is tied to your employer, your passport is held by them, and your freedom is gone. But this is worse. You aren't here to build a skyscraper. You're here to be dismantled. You have been sold. Your job now is simple. Wait. You are livestock, and your only task is to be kept in sellable condition. The days bleed into one another in a monotonous haze of fear and boredom. You live in a crowded room with other men and women who share your vacant, terrified stare. No one speaks of home. It's too painful. The routine is rigid. At 7 a.m., a guard slides a tray of thin, watery gruel and stale bread through a slot in the door. It's just enough calories to keep you alive. At noon, another meager meal. At 7 p.m., the same again. Once a week, you are subjected to a medical checkup. It's not for your health, it's for theirs. A man who is clearly not a doctor, but wears a stained coat, draws your blood. He checks your blood pressure. He listens to your heart. He makes notes on a clipboard, not looking at your face, but at your torso, like a butcher inspecting a side of beef. He's checking the merchandise. He's making sure your heart is strong, your blood type is recorded, and your kidneys are functioning. They tell you it's to make sure you're fit for work. You know what the work is? You saw the scar on the man who was taken from the room last month and never returned. The silence is the worst part. The long hours spent on a thin mat, listening to the sounds of the city outside, a city you will never see. You are a ghost, waiting for your body to be harvested. You are not a person anymore. You are a walking, breathing collection of spare parts. You are a prisoner, held by invisible chains far stronger than iron. The first chain is debt. That facilitator's fee you were loaned has now ballooned with impossible interest. The food you eat, the space you occupy, it all adds to a number you could never repay in 100 lifetimes. The debt is a fiction, a tool to legally justify your enslavement if anyone were to ask. The second and most vicious chain is the threat to your family. The recruiters didn't just get your signature, they got the names and address of your wife, your children, your parents. The guards make sure you know this. They'll casually show you a recent photo of your daughter walking home from school, a photo they shouldn't have. The message is unspoken but clear. If you cause trouble, if you try to escape, the consequences will be paid by the people you love. Physical violence is a constant presence. It's used not just for punishment, but for maintenance. A man who cries too loud is beaten into silence. A woman who refuses to eat is force-fed. This isn't about anger, it's about control. It's about breaking your spirit so completely that you become compliant, docile. It's about making you accept the inevitable. You are isolated, with no phone, no contact with the outside world. Your name is forgotten. In this cage, you are only a blood type and a potential match. Hope is the most dangerous thing you can have here. At first, you pray. You bargain with gods you haven't spoken to in years. You tell yourself there's been a mistake, that someone will come for you. But as weeks turn into months, that hope begins to curdle into a dull, persistent dread. You watch the others. Some retreat into themselves, becoming hollow shells. Others are consumed by a frantic, desperate energy. One night, a young man from the bunk next to you makes a run for it. He manages to pry open a window during a guard shift change. For a few seconds, there is a flicker of possibility. Maybe he'll make it. Maybe he'll get help. The sound of his capture is sickeningly quick. A short, sharp scream. Then the thud of fists on flesh. They bring him back and make you all watch. They break his leg with a metal pipe to make sure he won't be running again. He isn't useful for parts anymore. Not for a while. He is an example. After that, something in you shuts down. The hope doesn't just die, it becomes a source of shame. To hope is to be a fool. To accept your fate is the only way to endure the time you have left. Your mind builds a wall around itself. The only thing that matters is the next breath, the next bowl of gruel. The future is a black void you refuse to look into. One day, your number is called. There's no ceremony. A guard just points at you. You get up. A client has been found. A wealthy patient in another country, desperate for a kidney or a piece of a liver, has paid the final price. Your waiting is over. You are driven at night to a secret location. It might be the back room of a veterinary clinic, an abandoned warehouse, or a rented villa. The operating theater is a grimy table under a single, flickering fluorescent light. The surgeon is a disgraced doctor who lost his license. His hands are unsteady. You are given an injection. Your last conscious thought is of the unsterile instruments laid out on a rusty tray. Your exit from the system comes in one of two ways. If the procedure is botched, and it often is, you might not wake up at all. You die of infection or blood loss on that table. Your body is disposed of unceremoniously, another nameless victim. If you survive, you wake up just as we described, alone in an alleyway or on a desolate roadside. The traffickers have what they want. You are now a liability. They might push a few $100s into your hand, a tiny fraction of the tens of thousands your organ was sold for, and tell you to disappear. You are free, but you are broken. You face a lifetime of health complications, a constant risk of organ failure from the remaining kidney being overworked, chronic pain, and the crushing psychological trauma. And that debt they invented, it's still there. You are free, but you are still owned. Your story is not unique. You are just one face in a vast, dark industry. This is the reality of the global organ trade, a black market estimated by the World Health Organization to account for up to 10% of all organ transplants performed globally. It is a multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprise. This network connects the desperation of the world's poor with the desperation of the world's sick and wealthy. It thrives in the shadows, fueled by poverty, conflict, and migration crises. Brokers identify vulnerable targets, corrupt medical professionals perform the surgeries, and international clients engage in transplant tourism, asking no questions about the origin of their new life-saving organ. For every person who receives an illegal organ, another person like you is left with a scar, a lifetime of pain, and a story that can never be fully told. The scar on your side will fade over time, but it will never disappear. It is a permanent reminder of what was taken. They didn't just steal an organ. They stole your health, your trust in humanity, and your future. They took a part of your body, but left you with all of the pain. And somewhere, in a clean hospital room far away, someone else is living a longer life, completely unaware of the price you were forced to pay. Thank you for watching. If this story has impacted you, please consider sharing it. Awareness is the first step in fighting the darkness.